Malik, a lot has changed in 1 week. You go from just being named starter to, kind of having a breakout performance. How do you, continue to stay level-headed as you move forward into week 2?
Oh, we just gotta take it one day at a time, man. Like I said after the game, we're all one team. We're nothing without those guys. Those guys made it happen. The O line did a great job. The receivers did a great job. Running backs did a great job, and the defense did a great job, man. We just gotta keep practicing, working hard, and everything will fall into place.
Malik, you spoke glowingly Saturday of the work the offensive line put in, not only in the abbreviated spring, but during training camp and getting ready. And speak to what they were able to do for you, even when pass protection did break down, you were able to escape and pick up some yards. But more often than not, you had a clean jersey throughout much of Saturday's game.
All those guys, like I said, they played great, and they just worked real hard with Coach Dom throughout the summer, throughout training camp, and just trying to be the best they could be, working really hard against our defense. And our defense is really good this year, and they work really hard as well. And just that iron sharpens iron mentality, and just what that means. And they even helped Saturday when I had lost the football. I got to take care of the football, but I lost the football. Jacob Biden, he had came and jumped on it for me. Those guys, they were everywhere. They were doing everything. They were traveling, win the ball. We got big runs, big passes, and they just had a great day.
Yeah, Malik, it's Nick Pierce, Liberty Flame Sports Network. You just mentioned taking care of the ball. I mean, now that you've had a chance to kind of go back and watch the tape, I think that was maybe one of the areas that Coach Freeze specifically mentioned that you got to get better at. Is that something that you're a little more aware of going into this week?
100%. I haven't been hit in a minute, and that showed. I just got to take care of the football and be cognizant of who's around me, and just when I'm in traffic, just grab it with both hands. Just take care of it.
Just a follow up to that, I mean, now that you've had a chance to kind of go back and watch tape and get with Coach Austin, Coach Freeze on corrections and different things, I mean, how would you grade your performance from this past week?
I think if I'm being generous, a C plus maybe a B minus. I don't know. I still got a lot to work on. I got a lot to fix, and the O line made it easy for us, and I was handing it off a lot of times. So I feel like I still got a lot to work on. Still got a lot of room to grow.
I mean, you can still take into consideration the good things you did too. I just happened to mention the correction. So I mean, all things considered, you'd say B minus, C plus.
Yeah, I got to take care of the football. That's priority number one. So that's a big no-no, regardless of the good I did.
All right, let's go ahead and go to Emily, and then we'll get back to Ryan with the FXR.
Malik, it's really important for a quarterback to win the respect of his teammates. Do you feel like Saturday you won that respect, or was that won before the game?
I mean, I really try to just come with that same mentality every day. Just go out there and work hard, go out there and grind, and you can really show people how you work, and that's what earns their respect more than one performance or whatnot. You just got to keep going out there showing them that you're dependable and consistent, So that's my main thing, just try to keep working every day, hard as I can, regardless of what's going on, and that'll earn their respect.
And as far as your confidence, do you maintain that at the same level, or does it waver throughout, the season? And I know a lot of people had a lot of question marks on you being the starter since you hadn't started since your high school game back in 2016. So did this performance give you a little bit more confidence, or has that always stayed the same?
I mean, your confidence always has to be solid, regardless of what the outside world's saying, because that's not what you worry about in the first place. You worrying about winning there with Coach Dom, going there with Coach Austin, going there with Coach Freeze, working every day at your craft, getting better, because you only see the game time stuff. You don't really see everything that goes into it, so you can't really make a sound, decision on how somebody is or what they can and can't do, because you don't really get to see it except in game time. So I don't really worry about too much what's going on outside of our bubble, but you just got to keep that confidence, because if you lose your confidence, then people around you will see you lost that confidence, and how can they be dependent on you if you don't depend on yourself?
All right, let's go to Ryan Moy from FXR.
Speaking of that bubble, talk a little bit about accountability and the brotherhood that you guys have cultivated on and off the field?
Oh, this brotherhood it goes beyond football, man. It's just we love each other, so we gotta hold each other accountable. We respect each other, but sometimes you gotta step to somebody if somebody's not doing something the right way, because that's all we're trying to breed is doing stuff the right way, because that's how you build culture, you know. And if you can come to me as a man and tell me something I'm doing wrong because you want to see my life better, I have no choice but to respect that and take it into account. And I just feel like we have to be able to do that both ways, or how many other ways it goes. And we got to see when our brothers are in trouble or need some help and be able to step in their lives and help them out. And that's all we're trying to do here.
And how do you use that going into FIU this weekend? That type of motivation?
Oh, just to keep working hard, and the game plan that the coaches have in place for us offensively and defensively, just keep sticking to that, working at that, getting better, just taking it day by day. That's all we can do.
Thanks, Malik.
No problem.
Next up, with John Manson with the red, and then we'll go to John Simmons with the champion.
Hey, Malik, any chance you've gotten an opportunity to speak with Buckshot recently?
I talked to him Saturday, I think, a little bit.
And what was that conversation like?
He was just like, keep doing what I'm doing. That's my guy, though. That's the man right there. I learned a lot from him.
That was after the game, I assume?
Yes, sir.
All right, next up, John Simmons from Liberty Champion, then we'll get back to Damian.
Hey, Malik, this is John Simmons, man. So heading into FIU this weekend, what are some areas on offense that you guys are going to try to replicate from last week when you take on the Panthers?
We're just going to keep working with Coach has for us in the game plan, and just repetition and getting better, you know, just taking it day by day and keep trying to grow from last week in areas we did good on.
Thank you.
All right, next up, Damian Sordelet from the Lynchburg News in Advance, and then we'll go back to Emily.
And Malik, you brought up the brotherhood and how much you guys have grown together. Through all this social injustice and racial inequality issues that we're dealing with as a nation, how much did you guys grow together? And when you guys come up with the hashtag Created Equally, what did that mean? And what was the creed that you guys set so that way as a team you guys could be united?
That right there, what you just said, that was big. And you don't even understand how big that was. And we had a team meeting, and it just, everybody seemed like they just grew closer as we got to talking about it, and how Coach was just so uplifted when he started to get to talking about it. And it's a crazy world out here, we know that, and we can't forget, even though we're a team here, we can't forget it's a big world out here, and a lot of people aren't doing what we're doing. And it just brought us closer together as a family, just knowing that it doesn't matter what you look like, how tall, how big, how anything physical, anything. And we're just all together as one. And we're just a big team, a big family in my eyes.
How much did Treyshawn, organizing that Justice for Us rally, how much did you guys rally around him, with him trying to exercise his voice and bring awareness to what's going on in the black community?
I think that was big, and the way he went about it was great. He wasn't trying to bring any nonsense. He was trying to just peacefully let his voice out, and I understand where he's coming from, and that's just something tough that is just unfortunate that's going on out here, and we just gotta sometimes act like we don't know what's going on because we're here at school and we're like in our bubble, but seeing it every day on social media and whatnot, it is tough. And for him to stand up and use his voice was very inspiring in my eyes, and the way he did that inspired Coach as well and got us to create it equally and talking about that type of stuff.
All right, let's go to Emily Austin from Flame Central.
Malik, going off the whole created equally, what made you guys decide on that as the decal, and what was the process like to get there?
Well, the process was like each position room, they got to talking and trying to get up some things that we could use to put on the helmet, some phrases and whatnot. And through all the groups, Coach went through and talked to them, and he said he summed it up and got it all. Everybody was saying that we're all equal, so we should be treated equal, and that's how we got it to create it equally, you know. And that just means no matter what you look like, no matter who you are, where you're from, everybody comes from God, and everybody's equal. We're just people out here, and I think that was the one to pick, honestly.
A lot of universities talk about doing things with the social injustice issue, but not a lot act on the things that LU has been doing these last few weeks. What does it mean to you personally to play for a university that's actually taking action?
I think that's big, especially at this time where it's really dangerous out here for people of African American race. It's scary sometimes walking out there alone, going against a lot of stuff, but to see our university take a step forward and try to, initiate some change, initiate some awareness, that was real big. It kind of put a bright spot in my heart,
Malik, what does the game of football do to bring everyone together of all races, creeds, you know what I mean? You've got black, you've got white. Just the game of football, how does that bring everyone together?
Because everybody has a job to do, and no matter what you look like, what color you are, what race you are, if you do that job the best, you're going to be on the field, and we got to work together regardless. And when you're working together, it just makes you get closer. And when you get closer, you realize that everybody's the same. Everybody's a person.